Hey, what's going on guys? It's Christian here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about what makes up your credit score and how to improve it so you can take advantages of all of the wonderful benefits that come with having a great credit score. That sounds interesting? Sit back and enjoy the show. If you're new to this whole thing, think of your credit score as kind of a financial CV. This will contain information that will help borrowers determine if your identity is correct and if you're a suitable and reliable borrower so that they can give you money. You can check your own credit score and report on any of the main three bureaus we have here in the UK, which are Equifax, TransUnion and Experian. Or my preferred method is to download Credit Karma. It's an app on your phone, it's really easy to check. It updates every 7 days, so you can just instantly see what reports come up on your report. Before I get into these factors that make up your credit score, just bear in mind that I'm using the weighting system that are used by the FICO score in America. In America, they have just one bureau that they use pretty much in the whole of the United States to determine what your credit score is. Here in the UK, we have 3 different ones. So depending on who you're trying to lend money from or borrow from, they may use different ones. So just take that with a grain of salt. The first and the most important one, this makes up the majority of your credit score at 35%, and that is repayment. Lenders, when you are applying for new credit or anything of that type, they want to see that you always pay back and you pay back in time and in full. So that's why it makes up 35%. Next up is credit utilization. This comes in at 30% of the total weighting of your credit score. Ideally, you should only be using 25% of your overall credit limit. So for example, if you have £1,000 credit, then you only really want to be using £250. This can show borrowers that you are not reliant on credit to make ends meet, that you're not maxing out your credit card every month, so you don't really need it and you're just using it as a tool that you utilize. Next up at 15%, we have your average credit length. So this could be anything from your debit card that you open straight away, any credit cards you may have, or anything that is counted as a credit. Now this is the average, so it doesn't take into consideration the longest one you've had. If you've had your debit card for 5 years and you've had a credit card for 1, that makes it 6 years, and then the average is 3 years. So your average length of history will be 3 years at that point. So generally, the longer your average credit length is, the higher your credit score is. I would always recommend never closing your oldest form of credit, whereas that is a debit card that you opened with a bank. You really never want to close your oldest one unless you really have to, because that will significantly bring down your average length of credit. Even if that means just putting a small transaction on it every couple of months, just so that the person who you are with does not close your account. Next up, we have the final two, and we're going to put these together. They make up 10% each. That is how many lines of credit you have and how many new lines of credit you have. How many lines of credit you have can range anywhere from a credit card to a mortgage and everything in between, like a car finance. And how many new lines of credit you have is pretty self-explanatory. It's just how many new lines of credit you have opened. Usually it's looked at every 6 months, so anything in a 6-month period, that is counted as a new line of credit. That means you don't want to be taking out or applying for more than 1 line of credit every 6 months if you can help it. I personally like to take out a new line of credit through credit cards every 6 to 12 months. Not only does it improve my credit limit, which in turn will lower my credit utilization because I have more credit, it also will see that I have more lines of credit, so it kills 3 birds with 1 stone. And then if I'm only doing it every 6 to 12 months, then it's not within that 6-month period to have a negative impact on my score. And also I get to just go credit card shopping and take a look at all of the offers that are available to me through credit cards, like cashback, flight miles, just a lot of good options that are on so many different credit cards. If you found it helpful that I outlined everything that makes up your credit score, I would really appreciate if you could smash the thumbs up button and drop me a sub. It would really help me get picked up by the mighty YouTube algorithm. Now we have run through all of the factors that make up your credit score, I want to go over some things on how you can take advantage of everything I outlined in this video if you're a complete beginner or you are new to credit score building. First things first, if you haven't already, I want you to open up a credit card, Because if you're new to this thing, chances are you don't have a very long or any credit history, which is often bad or worse than having a bad credit history. The reason why it's usually worse is because lenders just do not know what to expect, and they don't know if you're going to be reliable or not. Whereas if somebody has a bad credit, they at least know that they are bad. It doesn't make that much sense, but it is what it is. In this case, then I want you to open up a credit building card. My go-to recommendation is the Capital One Classic card. Once you have your first card, you want to follow everything that I outlined in this video, and the main one is never miss a payment. This is really important with a credit building card because the interest rates are a lot higher than usual credit cards, because the demographic that gets those type of cards are people with really bad credit or no credit. So they have to have really high interest rates to kind of cover them, because the people aren't going to be that reliable. Just to never have to stress about it, many of these, especially the Capital One, you can set up a direct debit to come out of your account at the beginning, or whenever you choose, just come straight out of your account and pay the amount in full, so you don't have to worry about it. Just to touch on the credit utilization, to give some more examples, when I first started on this journey, I had a £500 credit limit, which meant that I could only put £100 on that card each month to stay within the utilization range. So I would only put things like my petrol or my groceries, and then I would just completely pay it off in full, and that kept me within the limit. Now that I have more than one credit card, I don't really use that credit card because they still haven't gave me an increase on it. So I will just put things like my subscriptions on it that will just completely come out of my account straight away and then be paid for. And I'm still utilizing the credit that I have. After about 6 to 8 months, your credit card provider may offer you a credit limit increase, which if you feel like you are being responsible and you've got the hang of the whole credit card building, I would always take the offer. I would always take this because I know TransUnions, specifically in the UK, take into consideration the amount of credit that you have available to you. Around this time, you can start going credit card shopping and looking for new credit cards that are not credit building ones and offer incentives such as cashback, flight miles, or anything of that sort. If you see that there's an offer, you don't really want to apply for one if it's another credit building card. You can, but it won't really drastically improve your credit score because the credit limit will still be relatively low. So that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for spending this time with me. I hope you got some useful information that you can use to build your credit and take advantage of everything that the world of credit has to offer to you. Now, if you could turn the notifications on my channel, I would really appreciate it, as so you will never miss a new video from me. I upload every Sunday without fail, everything to do with personal finance and self-development. My question of the week to you guys is, how many credit cards do you have and what age did you get your first one?